y'all. Welcome back to the Chelsea Council podcast. I trust that you've been enjoying the podcast so far. You know, my intent is to deal with holistic well-being. So every aspect of our human existence is what I intend to touch on these podcasts. So just in case you're wondering, there you go. That is what this podcast is about. Holistic well-being. I trust that you're enjoying it thus far. Today, we're going to talk about intimacy. And yes, I know that when we talk about intimacy, a lot of persons tend to go straight to the bedroom. But that's not where we're going today. Probably at some point we will be going there, but right now that's not where we're going. Right now we're going to speak about the power of intellectual and spiritual intimacy in relationships. Yes, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. So let's talk about it now. Let's talk about it. You might think that physical intimacy is what keeps the relationship going, but intellectual and spiritual intimacy is equally as important as the physical. If not more, maybe more. Who knows? It depends on how we all view relationships, and I know we have different viewpoints when it comes to relationship. But firstly, let's define what intellectual and spiritual intimacy is. So intellectual intimacy basically involves sharing thoughts, beliefs, and ideas with your partner. Spiritual intimacy, on the other hand, involves sharing your values, traditions, and beliefs with your partner. Why is this important, you may ask? Well, through intellectual and spiritual intimacy, you and your partner can create a deep and meaningful connection that cannot be forged through physical intimacy alone. Yeah. So it can't be just, I was tempted to say something, but I will withhold that. Yeah, it can't be just physical. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page. Think about it really. When you share your innermost thoughts and feelings with your partner, yeah, that person the way you just turn to mush for. Yes, that person you get all mushy for and your feelings. When you share those feelings with your partner, you're building a foundation of trust and honesty, and that enables your relationship to flourish. Like them say happy wife, happy life, but happy wife, happy husband, happy, everybody happy. Okay? Okay? Yeah, everybody good. So your partner become your confidant, advisor, and your friend. And there's no rule that says they have to be a friend before. We have this little thing where them say, it is good. It makes things easier if the person is your friend before. But if you meet somebody, one random person from all the way across the world, yeah, there's no way I'm a friend before. And I mean, I have views pertaining to that, being friends before. I don't believe in being friends 2-3 years before somebody gets into a relationship. No. If I want a relationship with you, I want a relationship with you. Yeah? We can learn to be friends along the way. But I want a relationship with you. I'm not going to sit and wait 3 years and be your friend for 3 years if I want a relationship with you. Why would I put myself through all of that? But anyways, let's get back to the matter at hand. Let's dive in a little deeper into this thing. This thing. I want to start with intellectual intimacy though. It creates an environment for engaging conversations basically. So yeah, engaging in conversation, in debates. I love a good debate. And anybody who knows me knows that I love a good debate. And it's not because I am challenging and I am usually combative when I am passionate about things, but because it actually stimulates my brain cells and allows me to think. Like, it gives me different perspectives. If me and you go neck and neck about a point or something, I am taking your views, but still a fight my own, because I want to draw more from you. And I do that all the time. I challenge people a lot because I want to draw from them. I accept what they're saying, but I tell them straight up, so I accept it, because I want more of what they have to give. And them something to spark joy in me. And it can be any topic. It can be wide and varying topics. It can include politics, religion, science, beliefs. All of them look at something there. Even your favorite TV show. If you're one of them idle people there. Yes. Your favorite TV show can be something, topic of interest that you discuss with your partner. And that stimulates you mentally. Intellectually, it stimulates you on a different level. When you have these varying things that you can talk to your partner about, you will never have a dull moment. Think about it. If the one person where you can't wait for go tell, I can't wait for go home, go tell my husband about this thing where this guy said today, or whatever the case may be, or discuss some religious views or some political views or something with your husband, because your husband can be, a different party from you. We Jamaicans, we have two and stuff. And y'all can share why you support both. That's a good conversation to have, I think, if y'all are so inclined. But anyways, let's move on to spiritual intimacy. It involves, sharing a sense of purpose. Now this way it start get deep in a friend. Your sense of purpose is being shared. You're connecting with a higher power and all of them things there, whether you believe in a God, Buddha, Allah, whatever it is that you believe in. Personally, for me and my household, Aja we say straight up, and not Jah in other sense. We say Jehovah, okay? We say God. We say the Almighty, alright? So anything you say, not anything. Correction. Any higher power that you say, whatever name you want to call it, are the same. Any higher power that you if you call him Allah, if you call him God, if you call him Jehovah, if you call him, y'all share those same views, those beliefs. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to share the same religion or belief system, and that is an interesting discussion. Yeah. But my Bible says, if you're unequally yoked, there's going to be cause for conflict. That my Bible say. I believe in my Bible still, and I have seen, where the unequally yoked thing not really work. Because you're not going to really find a Jewish man take up a Catholic woman, and you're not going to find one Muslim or take up a Christian, because it's the same unequal. You see the unequally yoked coming out? But yeah. So that little thing there where I say we don't have to share the same religious beliefs. Maybe, just maybe not so. But you're not bounded to. Who knows? That person might be the person that shows you the truth, the way, and the life. Yeah? Moving right along. You create a spiritual connection with each other. And you see, when relationships are real, when relationships are real and time wasting thing with the pan, because we know the time wasting thing we go pan from time to time, yeah? We don't have spiritual connections in those relationships. You see, the thing with them called soul ties are real. And soul ties, you might soul tie with people who are just your friends and stuff too, Soul ties are real, and soul ties exist because of the depth of spiritual connection that you have with the people around you, and in this case specifically your partner, so them little thing they have to keep, them little thing they in mind when you're connecting. So one might wonder, how can you cultivate intellectual and spiritual intimacy in your relationship? Simply, firstly, you just need to make time for deep conversations with your partner. That is first and foremost. It's all based on the conversations that you have. You make time to really sit down and really listen, because a lot of us just have conversations for conversation's sake. We don't really listen sometimes. You make time to sit down and have those conversations. So that means you're not going to get comfortable. If you have bath in your yard and you can't fill it up with water, the bath them way is not used for showering purposes, but to actually bathe. Yes. You fill it up with some warm water and put the bubbles and rose petals and all those things in the water. And y'all soak away the day's troubles and whole a reason with, some scented candles and some rare. Them kind of settings there. Yeah, them kind of settings there. Them settings then are reserved for TV alone, And those settings are not reserved for what is depicted in the media, which is white people alone having baths with their partners and stuff like that. It is not. So long as you have a bath at your yard, and if you have a river, you can go to a river too. That works. Well, you probably get interrupted at the river still. So, and the river water not so warm. It's usually very freaking cold. So I really can't focus on a conversation and just want to wash off and get out. Why is my brain going there? Anyways, river works if you can manage the cold water. But a bath would be nice. Or just relax in your couch, a glass of wine. Or, I don't know, drink some water. If that you have, just make time and spend time together with your partner in deep conversations. And that is the first step, Create an environment of openness, and communication where you can share your thoughts and your feelings without fear of judgment. Because we all want that one person that we can share most things with. I'm not going to say everything because a lot of people believe that openness means you tell your partner everything. What we need to understand is that not all of us have partners who have the capacity to know everything. I know from one that I don't want to know my partner's deepest, darkest secrets from way back when. I don't want to know all in skeleton them in closet. I might take a one femur or, couple of the phalanges, them probably piece of the skull. But I can't take the whole skeleton. I don't want to know the whole skeleton. I am not that curious. Okay? My partner can keep some secrets too. If there are secrets worth keeping, keep them. I do not want to know. I don't want to know. But yeah. Things that you want to share without judgment, your feelings, your thoughts and everything. You can do that. But it doesn't have to be everything. Secondly, you can try to engage in activities that align with your mutual values. So when you do the dating thing and you start establish whether or not you're going to spend the rest of your life with this guy or this girl, and when you start to work out the values and the disciplines and the doctrines and the rearing, because everybody have doctrines. They have doctrines for what they want the family to be like, what they want the life to be like. When you start work through them things, they want to realize, alright, we don't have the same values. When the values align, everything align up, and everybody good. So long as you identify those, you have activities that engage these things, So, to want to love see the world, you start planning vacations for travel, You want to like a hiking, you start planning one little camping trip and them little thing there. Activities that engage those values that you all hold. Yeah, man, once it exists, do. So, if this means attending church service together, volunteering together, or practicing mindfulness together, whatever floats your boat. Like literally, whatever floats your boat in terms of the spiritual and intellectual aspects. Do. If homegirl invited to church Sunday, go on. If homeboy invited to church on Sabbath, go on. If you're a Jew and them invited to bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah or whatever the thing them call it, yeah man, do it together. Stronger spiritual bonds. That is what we're talking about. If you're volunteering together, do it. I don't want to make some whole heap of money and buy a whole heap of rice and go somewhere around the world where people need some rice. Wherever that is, do that. If you feel like you want to tap into your philanthropic endeavors, that's growing spiritually, helping, giving back, just just giving back in whatever way. You do it together. And, you know, the mindfulness and the yoga and the riri and all these things, that's spiritual growth. All around, meditation and them thing there. Spiritual growth all around. Do it with your partner and you all grow. And at all times, remember that physical intimacy might be what brings you together. Let me repeat that. Physical intimacy might be what brings you together. But, and this is, yes, apple bottom jeans type of butt. But it is intellectual and spiritual intimacy that will keep your relationship strong and deep. You know, ever notice that the only time relationships last is when the spiritual needs are met and the intellectual needs are met? And go and argue with your parents. Think about it before y'all argue with me. Yeah? Only time relationships last is when the spiritual and the intellectual needs are met in those relationships. If we're taking a deep, objective and unbiased look into relationships, we will see that that is the only time them last. Otherwise, it might last for a while, yes. But when the physical attraction is gone, when the sexual needs, them not kick in. The roaring lions, them not roar no more. The only thing that keeps persons together after the lions, them stop roar, and the physical attraction is gone, is the spiritual intimacy and the intellectual intimacy. Those are the only things. So I have to put more effort into those things. And speaking from personal experiences, I have ended relationships in the past because my intellectual need was not being met. I was not being challenged. I was not, I like developments, and my developments are usually through discourse and thing. I was not being challenged mentally. Certain deep conversations, my then partner didn't want to have, right? He didn't want to have those conversations or couldn't have those conversations. And after a while, the relationship just feels stifling and I had to leave. We never shared the same spiritual values either, and we never shared the same intellectual values. So even though there was initial attraction, it couldn't stimulate my brain. And I don't know about anybody else, but I am a sapiosexual. I am in love with people's brain before I am in love with them. I am in love with people's thoughts before I am in love with them. So if you can't give me nothing stimulating, we just can't be together. It's as simple as that. We just can't be together. And that is why, over the years I've said it and I would have discussed it with a lot of my friends. And I remember particularly saying to one of my friends one time, say, I don't encourage certain sets of people to date. And I was told that it is classist, or what they want to call it. I don't even know the term. I not even remember the terminology, but my friend, they really called me out on it still. But I said to her, think about it. Let's say the typical street sweeper, right? The typical street sweeper of a certain level of education, probably not beyond the high school, or probably not even reach high school, right? Or it probably reach high school, but I'm street smart, or the typical taxi driver. Probably have the education, the 9th grade education, right? And then me decide say me I want PhD person, right? And we decide to date. How will that person stimulate me intellectually? How will I be able to relate to him intellectually? Because it's a two-way thing, I am going to be doing him an injustice and he's going to be doing me an injustice. I am going to be doing him an injustice because I constantly attack over him head and him not understand one fuck where I come out of my mouth. Yeah? And he's going to be doing me an injustice where he cannot meet me at the level that I want him to meet me intellectually. It's a disservice. It's a disservice to him and it's a disservice to me. And yeah, she said that can't be the marker, but think about it realistically, If you're unable to meet your partner intellectually halfway, it just not gonna work. You just can't relate Like, you literally cannot relate to your partner. Because my street sweeper husband can't relate to my day in the life of a PhD level psychologist, a counseling psychologist, a licensed psychologist. Yeah? Him can't relate. So me can relate to him with him day-to-day street sweeping. What will our conversations be like? And him can relate to me with my office full of people going through shit. What will our conversations when we go home in the evenings and we get the formalities out of the way? Hi honey, how you doing? Whatever, ray. When we go through all of that and we sit down now to share our days, activities, and things we would have experienced throughout our day, how is he going to respond? And how am I going to respond to him? I may be able to respond to him, but I can't relate. And he may be able to respond to me too, but him genuinely can't relate. We look for those things in people, whether we do it directly or indirectly. We actually look for those things in people. We look for the intellectual intimacy and we look for the spiritual intimacy in people. Most times it is indirect. But if we're living intentional and we plan to live intentional, we can make it direct. There's nothing wrong with making it direct, to observe and say, yes, this is what I'm looking for. I'd rather have this partner that I can relate to for ever and ever, amen. Because if I'm going to do life with you, I must be able to relate to you for life. It can't be a case where I am able to relate to you now as a chopper. Oh jeez, why do I always take these things for a joke? Yeah, can't relate to you now as a chopper, but for some reason, somewhere in my brain, I trick myself into thinking that somewhere down the line, if you decide that you're going to be a chopper forever and ever, amen, I am going to be able to relate to you, then it's not going to happen. If we're going to do this thing, relationship forever and ever, amen, it's not going to be in a practical for a law enforcement person I relate to. Well. A law enforcement person can probably relate to a chopper, but that is not that. It's not what we're discussing. But they can relate to arresting the chopper, of course. Of course, I'm always open to your thoughts and your discourse. Feel free to share. Feel free to let your voice be heard in the comments. Let your voice be heard. Until next time, thank you for joining me on the Chels Council podcast. Take care of thyself.